What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. Yesterday, I did go 2-2, very little profit, but profit is profit. My top play, we talked about it on the show. I took the Raptors, 4%. Won that one, and also won on what was it? It was a college basketball play. It was Oregon plus 5.5. They went out right. So those are the two winners. The losers, I ended up taking Jared Allen under 18.5 points without James Harden. And I thought he'd rely a little bit more on Harden. He still, was able to get the job done without him. And then I can't remember the other one. I don't know. But 2-2, slight profit. How you doing today, Vino?
We're good today, Skee. Yesterday was 5-1 overall, but it was
Nice.
mostly college basketball. We had a 4-0 in college hoop, capped off by San Diego State late night against Utah State. I think they're -1.5, one pretty big. The pros I split. I had the Jalen Duren points and rebounds over 28.5. Figured Duren could go wild against a small Oklahoma City front line, and he did. But at nighttime or later at night, I had Denver and Boston to go over, and man, that was a bad play. That was a bad play from the outset. Even when Jalen Brown got announced in, I thought, well, maybe I'm going to be okay here. But I don't know. When was the last time we saw Denver give up not even 90
Yeah, all
points
of
in
a
the
sudden
regular
they play
season?
defense, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if that's something we should be on the lookout for or if that's just a mirage, but it's not indicative of the way they play D. So we'll take it though. I mean, the NBA splits out and the college did really well. So we'll take the profit and move on to today.
Yeah, the Celtics, it was not the best travel spot for them. Maybe that played a part in it. Um, but yeah, that was the other loser for me. Celtics plus 3.5. All right, let's get to today. We do have a good amount of games. Might not spend the most time on all of them, but first up, we'll go Miami and Philadelphia. Opened up -2, I think -2 or 2.5. Looks like it's 2.5 or three right now. Total right around the opener. Injury report. See, this is Davion Mitchell questionable, Powell questionable, Jovic out for Philly. Embiid is probable. Rome is out. We know Paul George is still suspended. This is a Heat team, and you know how I feel. I don't like when I feel like everybody's on something. Um, like I don't want to be, especially if it's an underdog. But I was doing my research. I've been up for about 8 hours now, and I said, man, the Heat they do really good after they lose a game. I was like, let me just, I'll wait. I don't want to play it too early because we know how the NBA is. And sure enough, Norman Powell pops up on the injury report alongside Mitchell, which is not ideal. But I see everybody posting that the Heat are 10-0 off of a loss. Everybody likes the Heat. Um, I was liking them early. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like that Norman Powell's questionable. If he's not playing, if Mitchell's not playing, I mean, I guess I like the Sixers at that point. How do you feel about the game?
Yeah, the injury list, injury report kind of affects me, Ski, because I wanted to play over. Two teams since the break. Milwaukee went over again last night. Miami's put up 128, 136, and 117. Their three games since the break. Um, Last two games hit 256 and 245, and the Sixers will go with them. Sixers probably will score two with Embiid in the lineup. So I really wanted to get to over in this game. They only played once this year, 127, 117, 244, which is above what they're asking for tonight. But again, I'm not playing any Miami over without Norman Powell, especially. Norman Powell
Yeah.
just that big to that offense. So it kind of puts me at a standstill here. That was the way I was looking. I'll have to, like a lot of these games, we say it every day. We just got to wait it out and see where these injuries are going to take us because jumping in too soon can get you in trouble a little bit. But that is the way I look. If sidewise, I was really kind of torn, so I won't give anybody an opinion there, but my stance on this one was going to be play this thing over. I thought it would get into the mid 240s. Again, we'll wait on Norman Powell's status and see how that turns out.
All right, yeah, I think that's the way you have to play this one. But if you like the Sixers, yeah, if you like the Sixers, you might want to wait too. I mean, I think yeah, you have to wait regardless, in my opinion. So we'll move on to the Hornets and Pacers. Opened up 12 and a half. Looks like 13 total. Not really moving. I don't really see. I see McNeely out for the Hornets. For the Pacers, Nimhard is questionable. Toppin questionable. Siakam doubtful. Neesmith out. Zubac going to be out for a little bit. Um, I feel like this is way too many points here. But maybe it's high for a reason. This was not one of the games I had the strongest opinions on. But I'll ask you, Vino, anything on Hornets and Pacers?
Yeah, I would say to you, start of the year, did we ever think we'd see Charlotte as a 13-point favorite?
Negative.
Probably never. And that's just how good it's gone for them, how bad it's gone for the other side. I'll steal your line for a minute. Indiana has no interest in winning basketball games, so we're not telling that Charlotte can't win the game. They probably will. And the other night, to tell you the truth, against the Bulls, and I talked a little bit about this, Charlotte went out and won by 32 against the Bulls. It was like 131 to 99. They do want to play. They are playing defense far better than I thought they could play defense. So if I had to choose, I guess I would say, lay 13. The other side's just injury filled and not really caring at this point in time. Where Charlotte cares, I'm just looking at the standings here real fast, Skee. They're in that 7 to 10 grouping, which puts you in the little play-in tournament where they're 3 games out of getting a home floor advantage, 3 behind Miami. So still within reach. Charlotte's got something to play for. The other side really doesn't. I don't know. I find it. Let's put it this way: I wouldn't play Indiana even at plus 13. I just don't know where their interest level is right now.
Yeah, this is a game that I can easily skip. Rockets and Magic opened up minus 1.5. No, actually, I think it opened up 2 here for Houston. Looks like 3.5 right now. Total right around the opener. Injury report. So for Houston, I need to keep refreshing. We have Tate out right now. For Orlando, we have Suggs questionable, Franz Wagner out. This is not a good spot for either of these teams, really, in my opinion. Second game of a back-to-back for the Rockets. They, traveling third game in 4 nights. I think fourth and sixth for them as well. For the Magic, I mean, it's their first game home. I'm pretty sure. First game home. Yeah, first game home after being on the road for 4. Also, fourth game in 6 nights, I believe. Have a little bit of rest advantage tonight, but I just don't like this Magic team without Franz. They just haven't been that good. So it's kind of a tough call for me. I think at this point, I still probably would trust the Rockets. What do you think here, Vino?
Yeah, I promise, the chat that me and Skee weren't in the same room handicapping these games for the last 8 hours, but I had the same thoughts, Skee. Situationally, it doesn't favor anybody here. Doesn't favor Houston to be on back-to-back with travel. And, of course, for Orlando, it's first game home after the 4-game road trip, which you just mentioned. I will say this about that road trip for Orlando. They could have gone 3-0. They could have gone 0-3. And they lost the Phoenix game in overtime. That game could have gone their way. And then they beat the Clippers and Lakers by 2-1. So these games could have gone either way for both of them. Very, very competitive in all 3. The fact that they won 2 out of 3, I think, gives them a little bit of confidence boost. Have Houston at home, but I still don't want to play them in the first home after a 4-game road trip. And like I say, the problem with the Rockets for me, and they keep winning games, so maybe it's not a problem, but their point guard situation to me just isn't very good. However, Jalen Suggs doesn't play. That's not very good either for the Orlando side. So I'm probably going to sit this one out because I don't have a really good look side or total in this one. The total to me in a pretty good place here. Houston ran it up last night against Sacramento, like just about everybody does. I don't know where Doug Christie's defense and rebounding, things that travel well, went last night, but they didn't lead to victory. So for me, probably a pass here. I don't think even with a few more hours till tip off, I'll get to anything definitive in that game.
Spurs and Nets um, opened up 13 and a half down to 11 and a half for the Spurs. Total open 224 and a half. Looks like 225 and a half. I didn't see anything on the injury report yet for these guys. Oh, there we go. Actually, Castle's questionable. Keldon Johnson's questionable. Plumlee's out for Brooklyn. I don't see anybody on the injury report. Um, so obviously San Antonio playing on the second of a back to back here, coming from Canada to Brooklyn. Has to be a tough spot there. So I can understand why the line came down a little bit here. Um, Brooklyn just not really playing the best. But now maybe, they do have everybody in. Maybe they can keep it respectable at home in an advantageous rest spot. I have to lean Nets here, but it's tough to put your money on those guys. What do you think, Vino?
It is tough to put your money on those guys because we talked about it a couple of days ago where they had Atlanta in the fourth quarter beaten and then give up like the last 17 points of the game and lose by 11. There's no way Atlanta should have covered that game. They did. And then the Nets come back and lose to Dallas by 9 at home. Two teams going nowhere. Which one wants to lose the most? I guess it was the Nets. The one thing I would say here is if you don't want to play a side, I might look to Wemby props in this one. He had a horrific game last night, Skee, against Toronto. Wembenyama, 3 of 12 from the field and included a 1 of 6 from 3, only scored 12 points, only 8 rebounds. I would expect a huge bounce back here against the Nets. I mean, they do have 3 either 6'11" or 7-footers, the Nets do, but none of them should be able to contain Wemby here. And the one thing I'll say about maybe no Castle, maybe no Keldon Johnson is the Spurs just have like an endless bench of interchangeable parts. Not too worried if Dylan Harper has to play extra minutes tonight. I'd almost welcome that. He's going to score. San Antonio off the loss would probably be my look, but I think the better look, depending on the numbers. Again, I'm not that big of a props player. Did get on the Duran prop last night, but I think Wemby bounces back with a huge game in New York tonight.
Man, yeah, this is tough here, Vino. I mean, uh, Wemby could have a good game, and they still cannot cover this point spread.
Right.
Um, I mean, wouldn't you agree, just in theory, that if like the Nets haven't covered 5 straight games at least minimum, maybe it's more, but I know definitely the last 5 they didn't cover. Um, like I'm saying, like the book's gonna adjust to put the number up so they can start. Everybody who keeps fading the Nets is not going to continue to be able to do it forever. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe just not in the smartest way. But this is not a good spot for the Spurs. Very advantageous spot for the Nets. Is this number too high? I kind of feel like it is. I might have to hold, what they say, hold my nose and
Yeah, that's
just
right. Them dirty dogs, right?
this is a filthy one, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's could get to the window. All right.
Yeah, it's hard because you just know that, as much as you can, as many reasons as you can think of to fade San Antonio in this huge of a favorites role and in this situation, the other side of the coin, you don't have to think too hard to just say, Nets don't really care that much. And you're going to bet plus 11.5 with a team that just lost by 9 to Dallas. Maybe Dallas tried hard. I don't know, but it's hard for me to get to Brooklyn. But I think the point I was making was I think Wembenyama is the better of all options here to have a big net. Generally, when these guys, and Brooklyn's not the same as Madison Square Garden, but generally when these stars get into New York, they have really good performances. So we'll see if Wemby bounces back from the off show last night.
Thought the Spurs have been covering. Nice guy says feels like Spurs never cover. Thought they have been covering. But we'll keep it moving here. Yes, I do think the Spurs rest some players tonight. Not Wimby though. Wizards and Hawks. This one opened up minus 11 and a half. Looks like 9.5. Total went up from 233 and a half to 235 and a half. Injury report. I should just refresh, but you do have Jalen Johnson now ruled out. Reese Shea and Nikhil Alexander Walker are both questionable. For the Wizards, no AD, no Keyshawn George, D'Lo, Sar, or Trey Young. These teams did just play the other day. Atlanta won by close to 20, if not 20, and that game stayed under. Playing again here tonight, no Jalen Johnson. Kaminga is probably going to get the start. He had a big game in his first game there. Um, do you think anything changes this time around?
I wouldn't. I think you made a good point with Kaminga. I didn't expect Kaminga to go the other night. Remember when we talked about this game? I know I made the statement that I needed to wait and see on the Hawks because they just weren't playing that well. We expected them to have the deeper bench at this point in time because of the trade deadline. Things should go well for the Hawks, and they really haven't been going well for the Hawks. And then what do you know? They play the Wizards and they win in blowout fashion. Um, I guess two things could be true. The having Jonathan Kaminga could be a big boost, even though there's no Jalen Johnson. At least it keeps them somewhat as good offensively. And that Washington's another one of these in the barrel. I know you said it at the time when they traded for Trey Young that very day. Washington don't want to win any games, and they
Mm-hmm.
haven't done anything since.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so hard. And I know these teams are getting excessive points, and the odds makers want to lure you into thinking that the points are worth taking because there's so many of them. But I don't know, hard for me to get there. I just want to reiterate something you were just talking about. Somebody in the chat mentioned the Spurs. The Spurs are 8-2 against the spread their last 10. So they have been covering up until last night, 8-2 against the number.
Yeah, definitely felt like that comment was wrong. I thought about first half under in this game. Atlanta, top five defensive rated team last 5 games, 4-0-1 to the first half under. Definitely have been considering that. You've already had Jalen Johnson and Keyshawn George rolled out. Definitely, definitely looking at that. I feel like it's a
Full
high number.
game, Ski, real quick. Full game. They've played 5 straight unders, and their team total has gone under 5 straight games.
Who is that?
Hawks.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's appealing. It's appealing, but first half under still lean. I guess I got to think about it a little bit more. The one that's what's holding me back is, and I'm writing here down on my pad, but what's holding me back is last game when they played, neither team shot well. Atlanta didn't shoot well from three. I think they shot less than 30% from three, and they still put up 119. Like, let's just say they shoot, they might not shoot less than 30% from three again. They could run it up here tonight. So that's what's holding me up. I'm still thinking about that, but I'll try to get in and get out with the first half.
Man, you're absolutely right. They were 12 of 50. I'm just looking at the box. 12 of 50 from three, 24%.
Yeah,
And 40, they got 107 shots at the basket the other night, 42 of 107.
your
That's
stat
great.
right there, potential
Yeah,
points.
potential points are probably. I mean, yeah, they scored 119 doing that. You're absolutely right. They might score 140 if they make a shot tonight.
Yeah, that's why I just, it doesn't make me feel good placing that bet. I'm probably gonna hate it in a few hours. So just gonna stay on the sideline right now. Blazers and Bulls. This one opened up -4, still 4.5. Not much movement total. Just down about a point. Injuries though. Let's check that. Klingon questionable. Hanson questionable. Robert Williams questionable. No Denny and no Sharp. Oh man. For Chicago, Ivy, Simons, Smith, and Patrick Williams are out. I don't know, Vino. Now I'm looking at this injury report for Portland. I'm like, Should the Bulls even be laying? I mean, I'm sorry, the Portland even be laying points? Like, I get the Bulls have been playing bad, but this is probably a nice chance to go get a W, especially if Klingen's not going to play too. I mean, they could be missing two good scorers and missing some rim protection, maybe even both of the centers. What do you think here, Vino? Bulls and Blazers.
I think what I thought the other day. Remember, we were just discarding teams the other day. We were just shredding them and writing. And I took my shots at the Bulls. They're 2-12 against the spread last 14 games. It is, again, because we do a daily show here, we'll say a lot of the things more than once, or say a lot of things more than once, and we'll just point to the Bulls trade deadline. It made no sense at the time. It makes no sense now. They're not even coming close. The last that 14 game span, the 12 losses, they've only come within 6 points twice. Otherwise, they're getting destroyed. So I really wanted to play Portland here, Skee, and then that injury list got me off, and I put the red X through it because I don't want any. I would love to fade the Bulls at every opportunity at this point in time. So for me, it's a pass. So many of these games, so many of these teams, no matter what this commissioner does, they don't care to win games. They just play themselves into scheduled losses. Bad for my health. Yeah.
I I can't help, man. Can't help but like the Bulls. I can't help. I like the Dirty Dogs today. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. Play the
I
music.
think I'm feeling like it's that kind of day, they've lost 10 games in a row and they're not covering, and all of a sudden they're 4.5. Oh my god, yeah. I think I might have to take the Bulls today. I'm gonna think about that one a little bit longer, but Bulls can
Yeah.
absolutely win this game with Portland's injury report. Buzelis,
That's my dog.
yeah, he can score. Yeah, it might be. Giddy might have a. I mean, I don't know, man. I think that's a good one right there. All right, next game: Kings and Mavericks. Opened up -8.5. Looks like -7 or 7.5 currently. Total open 233.5, and we'll call it 234. Injury report for the Kings. I see Cardwell out, Murray out, Westbrook out. For the Mavericks, Middleton probable, Gafford doubtful, Flag and PJ both out. Yeah, this is just a disgusting game. Um, I really I don't want anything to do with it. I'll probably say that Dallas still doesn't deserve to lay. So for that reason, lean Kings plus the points if I had to, but not getting my money in this game. What do you got?
Yeah, I wouldn't look at either side. If I was going to look, I'd look at total Kings back to back situation. Severe, severe, severe step down in class defensively. Last night, play Houston can only get to 97, but the two prior games, they had gotten to 123 and 122. So the Kings do what the Kings do, right? If they have a night when they shoot the ball, they score high and they allow a lot of points. And Dallas, for what it's worth, appears, even with these injuries, Flag's been out forever, it seems. PJ on and off forever. And they put up 123 against the Nets the other night in a game that landed 237. So it could be in a price range where I could get the total over in this one just because of the two teams playing one another. I don't see any defense whatsoever. Zero at the rim, to tell you the truth. So maybe I could still get there with Dallas Sacramento over in a game where everybody just wants to pad their offensive stats.
All right, we'll keep going down the list. Next up is Pelicans and Jazz. Opened up -1.5. I'm seeing here, all the way up to 7 or 7.5 for New Orleans. Total also all the way up from 237 as high as 244.5. What is going on? Marketing rolled out and Keontae George rolled out. Murphy, Misi rolled out for the Pelicans. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I'm not ready to go lay 7 with the Pelicans. Uh, I just don't think they're, especially on the road. I'd probably still even consider either the over or maybe Ace Bailey points. I don't know. I feel like they should be able to score as well. What do you think here, Vino?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I don't like when I don't understand moves, like heavy moves like this total. Can't
Yeah,
really figure out why it went so skyrocketing high. I get listen, the everyday stuff that we talk about all the time is still there. It's Utah at home where we know they score better. Games are generally higher scoring when they're involved at home. I don't know. Kyle Filipowski at center. I mean, they're so small. The Jazz are so small that this probably whoever moved this game from 237 to 243 might have some intel that Utah is just going to play extreme tempo because it's all they've got a bunch of guards and wings and no center. Um, the only true center I'm seeing that's available for tonight is Kevin Love. Actually, Oscar Sheboy, who hardly plays. But to me, it looks like the Jazz just want to play up and down. Zion should dominate. I mean, if Zion doesn't have 30 points tonight, I'd be surprised against this lineup and with the pace that it's probably going to be played at. So I don't know. These last 2 days are pushing me to props because of all these weird lineups. But I could see Zion Williamson. I mean, I think DeAndre Jordan had like 15 boards the other day. Not much to say on the game, Ski. I do think Zion props probably get you there. It's nice to have DeJounte Murray back too in that New Orleans lineup. Um, we'll see how it goes. I think Zion's probably my only thought on that game.
all right. Lakers and then Suns opened up Lakers minus 4.5. Looks like six. Total open 217.5, up as high as 222.5. Um, yeah, let's get to the injuries on that. Hayes is probable. Rui is questionable. For Phoenix, Anthony, Booker, Brooks, Goodwin, Highsmith, all out. This Phoenix team, I mean, they've been bad on offense without Booker and Brooks. Um, but the Lakers defense can make anybody look good at the same time. Um, One thing for the Lakers though is their offense has not been looking great past couple games. And it's probably because it's been so much iso ball with Luca and he's been cold, so it makes everything now look good. Um, Lakers, in general, have been good off a loss as a favorite. They had a couple hiccups lately, but I like to think that they should be able to run Phoenix out the gym. Um, and I also think that I disagree with the move on this total. Like struggling offense in the Lakers, struggling offense for Phoenix. Neither team playing up tempo. Vino, what do you think here? You're muted. You're muted. I don't know if you could hear me. You're muted.
Oh, I got you. I was muted. Yeah, I'm thinking as you're rattling all that stuff off, that makes sense. I'm thinking 1 + 1 = 2 means stay away from that door. Don't go in. Um, for some reason, it got pushed up total wise. I would think, Phoenix has, even the coach said it the other day. I'll start there that they were struggling offensively. But I like what you said about the Lakers defense being able to make anybody look good offensively. And when I go through the list of scorers that are on the floor tonight, I mean, Grayson Allen can get hot. Jalen Green can score. Maybe they score enough to help the Lakers get this one over because I don't. The defensive nature of Phoenix is gone at this point. Basically, when you have Dylan Brooks and you have Booker, you have pretty good wing defense. Not the case here tonight for this team. They're a little small in the backcourt. I mean, Luca could see over the top of Colin Gillespie with no problem. I just feel like the Lakers are going to get their offense into gear here tonight, which would lead me to believe two things. A, they're going to cover, or B, this game's going to get over because I never trust the Laker defense. So I'll probably land somewhere in that vicinity. But I do somewhat understand people pushing this up from 217.5 because I think it'll probably get there.
What is the Suns' path to victory in this game? Like,
Probably none.
if they're gonna win, it's gonna have to be playing defense. In my mind, that's the only way. They're not gonna this Sun team, Gillespie, all these guys. They're not supposed to outscore Luca, Reeves, and LeBron. Even though LeBron, you know what I'm saying, even though he's older, they're not supposed to outscore those guys, especially the way that they've been looking. The Suns held the Celtics to 97 points. I mean, Suns defense has been all right past couple games. They held the Blazers to 92, Celtics to 97. I don't know if you know. I'm disagreeing with the market. We'll see. I like the first half under though. 115. I think that both offenses will struggle to start the game. I think you get a really good defensive effort from Phoenix. We shall see. Maybe I'll get there with first half under.
Real quick here, Skee, I just did want to check my notes on Phoenix, and the way they've chosen to play defense the last two games is just by milking shot clock. So to your point, they only got up 79 shots against the Celtics. They're just pounding, 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 and try to shorten the game, shorten possessions, and that's how we're going to win. So to your point, if that's what goes on here tonight, and Los Angeles certainly can go slow too. And then even if you're making shots, you might not get over. So I think in your case that would help out too. That Phoenix is just trying to utilize more of the shot clock on their end than they were prior because they know they're short scores.
Last but not least, Aiton versus old team, Mark Williams. You know, had that trade. He might feel some way about that trade situation. Um, if you might be interested in betting on those guys, just mentioning that for anybody out there. All right, T Wolves and Clippers. Don't see a whole lot of movement on the spread. Don't see a whole lot of movement on the total. Nobody on the injury report for Minnesota. Collins, Kawhi, both questionable, and Garland out for the Clippers. Yeah, this is one that not really was it really wasn't on my radar at all. Um, I still don't want to lay with the Timberwolves. 5.5 is starting to get short, but just not a believer in laying with the Timberwolves. Just it is what it is. Clippers are pass, I guess, for me here. Vino, what do you think?
Yeah, you'd want to be certain about Kawhi for sure, where LA is concerned. My initial lean is towards Minnesota team total over. It's like they become kind of a one trick team. They score a lot of points. They don't necessarily defend, but man, they can score. And the Clippers, the Clippers are a funny team. When they made the trade for Garland, right out of the gate, and I thought I was going to be able to play this angle for a while. Um, Ty Lue, the organization, Ty Lue especially said, you know what, we're going to start because we got Garland. We got him because we want to pick up the tempo. We don't want to go slow anymore. We want to go faster. But Garland's been out the entire time. So I'm sitting here watching these games thinking, well, are you going to implement that up tempo stuff now, or are you going to wait till Garland gets back? And it doesn't look like they've really implemented anything that would tell me they're going to go faster tempo. However, I don't think that their defense could stop Minnesota from scoring. Minnesota's got an offense that really can score on just about anybody. Got to make shots, of course. That goes without saying. But if I look at this one, it'll be Minnesota to get up and over their team total of 115.5.
All right, good stuff, Vino. Seymour likes that play. All right. That is the end of the show for today. So I feel like we did a pretty decent job. Let's take that off and do the usual 10-day all access for the price of seven. That's a good way to get involved. You'll save $69. You can check out either Rob or myself. And Vino, I'm gonna pass this right back to you for best bets. If you have one, we love to hear it. If you don't, no pressure. And yeah, if you have anything else you'd like to promote, feel free.
Maybe you or the chat could help me here because while you were talking, I'm trying to scramble for Wemby's points and rebounds prop tonight because that may be where I go with best bet Ski, but I just can't get it up here quick enough. I'm trying to.
You need his
God,
number?
I hope KC didn't hear that. Yeah, points and rebounds
All right.
combined.
Pull that up in 1 second.
Um, Promotion, while you look really quick here, I would just again say Full Court Press, college basketball show, Wager Talk TV, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Myself and Adam Trigger, if you guys are interested in college basketball, we do have a 3-day package that's been going on all season long. 3 days for $59. You get every play the two of us released. Last night we were a combined 7-0. So package people worked and made out really well last night. You can also get plays throughout the national championship, but the show itself, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, Full Court Press. And then we're on with Kelly in Vegas on Saturday morning on Last Call for 45 minutes up until tip off. We got a number, Skee?
35.5.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to leave that as a best bet. Victor Wembanyama, points and rebounds over 35.5. I could see 25 points, 13 boards, something like that off of what happened last night. So give me that, Skee. I like that play a lot. It'll be a play that I get to myself, probably for clients.
All right, good stuff from Vino. For myself, you know, I did see a comment yesterday. Oh man, I watched this show for nothing. I'm pretty sure you guys should get something out the information we've been sharing for 36 minutes. And something that I had happened yesterday, I do a few shows throughout the day. If I say I'm gonna bet something, I don't want to at the end of the day not have my money on it. And I found myself, I said that I was gonna bet something. I didn't like it later, but I've already said that I'm gonna bet it, and it ended up losing. So I don't want to be in that situation. If I'm giving you guys a bet, my money's absolutely on it. So what I'm gonna do today is tell you guys that I don't have my money on anything, but my current short list is Nets, Bulls, and then probably Lakers under or Lakers first half under, something like that. Those are on my short list currently. So, appreciate you taking the time to cap these games. We'll do it again tomorrow. I think we have a decent slate on Friday as well. Chat, we appreciate you guys as well. Great cappers, great people, and we all just trying to help each other get to the window. So best of luck to everybody, and we will catch you all tomorrow.